It's 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. Thank you for staying with the morning show here on ETV. Let's look at this now. The Reconstruction and Development Program, commonly known as RDP, is a government subsidy housing scheme which has changed millions of low-income South African lives by providing them with houses. But what happens when something goes wrong and beneficiaries don't have access to spare money to fix their house? Well, today we're joined by Kunene Makopo, who is a co-founder and director of Social Housing Initiative Cover, to tell us more about how they can help you if you live in an RDP house and something happens. Kunene, thanks for coming through. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us about this RDP insurance. How did this concept come about?
Okay, so it's actually Social Housing Initiative Company, SHIC. So how it came about is that we are involved with Afribiz Invest. Kunene Makopo Risk Solutions is a black insurance brokerage. Then Afribiz Invest is a construction holdings company. Yeah. And we were involved in CSI activities with the Kunene Makopo Foundation, funny enough, where we were giving out houses, or Afribiz was building houses to those who don't have. They were considered poorest of the poor in their communities. And so Afribiz would either renovate a home or build it, and then Kunene Makopo, obviously the foundation, would then hand this house over. Yeah. And then we were involved in giving away insurance cover to these beneficiaries of these homes. And while during we were doing this campaign, we actually thought about, why don't we do this for the entire country, for those who've been given homes by the government who don't have, you know? And then that's how the idea spawned, and then the product was developed. Yeah.
And take me through the research. While you were researching this, how big is the problem? Because sometimes it's about the structure of the building and how the building has been flawed that would lead to the house maybe experiencing some structural problems. During that research, so you realize that actually this is becoming a regular phenomenon. A lot of people are complaining about the houses being damaged.
So actually, maybe something I need to clear is that we're not saying that we're saving poorly built RDPs. And also RDP is actually pretty, an old term now. So we're saying low-cost homes, low-cost housing. And we realize that most of these people, they are low-income earners or not earning income at all, because they've been on a waiting list. And then for years, and when they finally get the house, they're probably not even working. You know, and for us, it was a matter of maybe they have a child, you know, who's working, and if they are getting pension money, at least they'll be able to afford this cover, because this cover is only 100 rand. Wow. So we realize that, you know, if anything ever happens, and these people at the same time, they don't have money to buy electric stoves and whatnot. So actually, a lot of them are using paraffin stove, and there've been cases where houses have been burnt.
Many times.
Yeah, because of using paraffin. And because this cover actually covers you against fire, damage, theft, and, you know. Yeah,
and I was about to ask you how the cover actually works. So it's fire damage.
Okay, so how the cover works is actually, that's why we say it's an initiative, because we are trying to help these families, not just by covering the home. So how the cover works is that it's two-sided. It's a household insurance cover that covers the building, the structure itself, and the geyser. And that cover, you're covered against theft, fire, and material damage, right? Okay. But then we've also embedded a family funeral cover that covers up to 9 members.
Is there a separate payment for that?
No.
Still part of the 100 rand?
Still part of that 100 rand. So we've got really great relationships with underwriters. So it's underwritten by Constantia and Workers Life. So we're able to then embed this funeral cover that will cover the main member, spouse, and up to 7 children. And we don't necessarily look at surnames as well, because we understand the dynamic of the black family.
Of the black family, yeah. That's very important.
You know, yeah.
Who qualifies to join this cover? So
who qualifies really is anyone who's earning anything less than 5,000 really, but if you can pay 100 rand, one, that's a requirement. Secondly, if your home is not above the value of 150,000 rand, and simply that's it. And if you're 18 years old.
So in some instances, you've got some of you know, these people renting out their houses. So they'll have these low-cost housing, but then they rent them out. In that instance, do you want someone who lives there renting can be part of this cover and get the cover, or can I, as Clement, who was lucky enough to have that low-cost housing built for myself, rented out to Bangi, for example, and I pay the cover?
Yeah, well, essentially, that's how insurance works. So if you have property and you rent it out, as long as you're going to pay the insurance, you're covered. Yeah.
So that's fine like that. So how can people get in touch with you? Do you normally do it via calls? Is there a way that they can get in touch with you if they want to join this cover?
Okay, so so currently we've started the rollout in Rama City. So you can find us at Rama City. It's in Hammanskraal. There's an office there. Or they can find us social media at SHIC_initiative, SHIC. Or they can send us an email, info@shicinitiative.com, or call us on our landline directly. But we are working on a rollout to do this nationally. And another thing that we're doing is actually we are employing locals from each community to actually sell the product as well. So we want to empower the communities as well.
And that's what I like about you guys are doing. It's so community-based, like community development-based. I want to get a sense of whether you know, through having possibly done research, how the people, when there's fire in their houses or when the house is damaged, where do they normally run to? Do they get loans? What have you been able to establish?
Yeah, so what we've established is that some people actually can't even get loans and they've lost their home.
Yeah.
That's it. They just lost their home and now it's just a financial burden trying to rebuild, you know, after all these years. I mean, for the fact that if you can actually wait that long for a home, it means you actually don't have money. You don't have savings. And that's where we are as well, just as a people, you know. So it works. Yeah. This really works for them because now you don't have to run. Let's say you are able to access loans. And even getting a loan of 20,000, 30,000 Rand, you have to be earning a certain amount of money, have a certain credit record. Yeah. So at least in this case, we're saying that we'll be able to assist from just 100 Rand.
Sure. And how do you go about assisting? Do you pay out a lump sum and they go about doing, or do you come and bring in your people that will say, this is what's needed here and this is where we'll patch in and see how we can fix?
Yeah, so it works twofold. When it comes to the house itself, obviously we then, there are preferred suppliers, so it won't be a lump sum. The construction company, well, the preferred suppliers, one of them will be selected, then they'll go in there, assess, and then obviously do the work.
Okay.
Yeah. Then when it comes to the funeral cover, that's a lump sum cash benefit, yeah.
And then you've mentioned that you want to roll this out nationally.
Yes, definitely.
Talk to me about those plans. What are the timelines are we looking for? You know, if people are watching us from the Eastern Cape, from Limpopo, and they're thinking, we also want this to get to us as soon as possible.
Yeah.
What are the plans looking like?
So the plans are, we're hoping that from January, February, around that period, we can start, well, maybe February, because the name of insurance, the game of insurance is that during December and Jan, people don't usually take it. You know, but from Jan, February, that's when we want to start rolling out, but little by little. So currently we're in Gauteng, obviously, and then we have offices in KZN. There's Durban, Newcastle. We have an office in Mpumalanga, an office in Cape Town as well. So, and we have obviously staff there. So, and an office where else? In Thohoyandou. Okay. So we'll be able to roll it out gradually, you know, where we can from January nationally, but in those provinces for now.
All right. Thank you for coming.
And Mthatha.
So, you're already everywhere, almost. Okay, Bangi Makopo speaking to us there. He's a co-founder of the Social Housing Initiative.